Hello, good evening. Welcome to Venice, Italy. It's the Basketball Champions League, and it's the Group C game between Umana Reyer Venezia and medi Bayreuth. Well, all smiles and the Umana Reyer Venezia fan section here in Venice. They've had a great start. Here's what we've seen already. Banvit edging Movie Star Estudiantes 82-80. Tomorrow, Rosaradam are at home to Sieg Strasbourg, and Ike host Petro Olympia from Slovenia. But right now, it's all about Umana Reyer Venezia, who obviously flying high after last season's Italian domestic title triumph, and also getting to the Final Four of the Basketball Champions League. And they were leading this league. They were leading, this group coming into game day 6. So with 4 wins in their 5 games, things are looking up for Umana Reyer Venezia. But you know what, folks? You don't win the title early in the season. You win it at the end of the season. So they need to be playing well when the time comes. But you obviously need to get as many wins as you can to get that top 4 spot. You see Banvit now top, Umana Reyer Venezia second, but they will leapfrog them if they win tonight. And even if they were to lose, they would still own the head-to-head against them to go back in front. Now, medi Bayreuth have been a big hit, really, coming into this Basketball Champions League campaign. They have more than lived up to their expectations. And, boy, they've got some great players, don't they? None more important than Gabe York. When he gets going, boy, look out for Raul Corner's team. Bastian Dorit is the captain of this team, number 10. They got some good players. John Cox, the Venezuela international, Nate Linhart, all up and down that lineup. This is a good medi Bayreuth team. And hey, look at that. They've got some fans that have traveled to Italy, and you know, why not travel down to Venice, take in the sights, including a basketball game. Marquez Haynes, Hervoye Peric, Dominic Johnson, Michael Bramos, Michael Jenkins, Gediminas Orlik, Paul Beliga, Mitchell Watt. All these players important for Walter de Rafael's Umana Reyer Venezia. And they really kind of let us know what type of season it was going to be for them on opening night. You'll remember they went to triple overtime, and they beat Umana Reyer Venezia. They beat last year's finalist, Banvit. So this is a passionate, devoted Umana Reyer Venezia crowd. And as we get deeper and deeper into the season, they'll know that their team has to be playing better and better. They did very well last year, beating Pinar Karsiak in the quarterfinals to get to the Final Four, but then lost both of their games in Tenerife. But it was a very competitive first season, and the second season is looking just as competitive, if not more so. Instead of a 40-team regular season like we had last year, we've got a 32-team regular season this year, and the 32 teams means you're going to have only 4 teams progress to the next stage of the competition. So, you know, you need to get as many wins as you can, and you certainly don't want to be losing games at home, and that's what the Umana Reyer Venezia fans will know. They want to get an important win tonight against a very dangerous medi Bayreuth team.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Umana Reyer for game day 6 in the Basketball Champions League. Umana Reyer Venezia, medi Bayreuth.
Well, medi Bayreuth, if you look back at their season so far, they won handsomely at Rosaradam, 96-79 in their opening game. Then they edged at home Sieg Strasbourg from France, 82-80. And they followed that up with a win at Petro Olympia, 90-77. Everything was going according to plan, but then they fell at Banvit, 85-74. And then last week at home, they lost to Movie Star Estudiantes. So they want to arrest this losing momentum. and get back in the swing of things here. I mean, it's never easy whether you're at home or away in the Basketball Champions League. They know it, and they knew it wasn't going to be a stroll in the park when they came into this competition.
Assistant coach Lars Masel, trainer Richard Lazer. Ed ora pubblico del Daniel, giochiamo la carica alla nostra squadra. Tutti in piedi, forza! E salutare i campioni d'Italia.
So Umana Reyer Venezia have made plenty of headlines in the Basketball Champions League since it launched last season. And these two guys here were with them, Perich and Haynes, as was Bramos there. Remember Dominic Johnson from opening night? He was terrific. And Gediminas Orlik made plenty of headlines for Bandit last season, but now he's with them. There's the Italy international Paul Beliga, and Thomas Ress, of course, and Watt, the new center to this team this season. And the passionate De Rafael. So both of these coaches have really done great jobs with their teams so far this season, but we've got a long way to go. Referees for tonight's game: Andres Ankrogers in the middle there from Latvia, Harris Bjedic from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and also from Lithuania. So the third referee from Lithuania. So this game we anticipate is going to be a good one. It'll be tipping off shortly here. The starting five: Linhart, Dorrit, Seifert, Brooks, and York. Gabe York for medi Bayreuth. And there's Coach Corner. If those guys aren't playing well, he'll be making the changes. He'll be ringing the changes. So Umana Reyer Venezia are going to go with Haynes, Hervoye, Perich will be in the starting lineup. Bramos, Jenkins, and Watt. And there is Mr. Walter De Rafael.
Scorekeeper Mr. Daniele Posenato, assistant scorekeeper Mr. Andrea Cocco, 24 seconds operator Mr. Marco Alessio, and technical delegate Mr. Stefano Cazzaro.
So just not long from starting here. If you were wondering who the leading scorers were for these teams, well, coming into this game tonight, Gabe York, without question, medi Bayreuth's leading scorer, 19.6 points per game in his 5 games. And boy, can he put it up from deep as well, shooting 52.8% from long range. York has been terrific, 19 of 36 from deep. So you want to keep an eye on Mr. York. For Umana Reyer Venezia, really, it's been a case of a lot of different players stepping up at different times. Leading the way is Orlik, actually at 15.8 points per game. And Hervoye Perich, 13.4 points per game, is the team's second leading scorer.
Consulta le varie delle linee su www.terminalfusina.it. Vediamo i biglietti delle due squadre. medi Bayreuth parte con il numero 8.
So we are about ready to tip things off here in Italy. 4-1 Umana Reyer Venezia going up against 3-2 medi Bayreuth. Medi Bayreuth trying to snap a 2-game losing skid in the Basketball Champions League. They won their first 3 games, but have since lost 2 in a row. And this will be a real test to their credentials tonight. Well, good evening, folks. We're in Venice, Italy. It's the Basketball Champions League, and it's Umana Reyer Venezia taking on medi Bayreuth from Germany. And long shot from the start here from Umana Reyer Venezia. They get the rebound back, and Reyer Venezia gets it to Watt, and he goes up for the two-handed flush. You don't want to give away second, third opportunities to Umana Reyer Venezia. They will eventually put the ball in the basket. Gabe York launches his first attempt from deep. And Reyer Venezia misses. Now Bastian Dordt misses, and Reyer Venezia, long outlet to Marquez Haynes, who puts it off the back of the rim. But medi Bayreuth hustle down to play defense and get the rebound. And reaching in, coming up with a steal is Bramos, the Greece international. He gets it to Jenkins. Here's Jenkins in the lane, gets it to Reyer Venezia. Now out to Haynes, who misses again. And that's time the pass goes over the head of Dordt. So a cheap turnover there. So turnover bug is already biting medi Bayreuth. Ramos over to Haynes. Back to Peric. He likes to get a lot of stuff going to the basket, and he gets it that time with his left hand. He really has been impressive at times this season. York spotting up in the right corner. Will they get it to him? Now he's on the wing. Deep three, the bank attempt. The bank is not open, folks. Now Bramos. That was Linhart who missed the last 3 attempts for medi Bayreuth, who have yet to score. Now inside, and the big fella, Seifert misses. And now Haynes puts up one and finally gets it to fall, the 3. So worrying start here for the Germans. Haynes' first 3 of the game. Linhart now spins. And his bounce pass gets away from Bastian Doret. But the referees ruled that it was knocked. It was touched by Umana Reyer. Well, Brooks was bumped as he got into the lane. Foul on Peric. Arthur De Raffiana in total agreement, shall we say, with that call. Peric picks up his first. And it goes, and Brooks misses an easy one. Certainly close to the basket. And now Jenkins, ready to go to work. Puts it up. It's good. Brings a little rain while he's at it. A lot of arc on that shot. And now the lead is 10-0. So no hesitation. Uncorks the 3-ball. There's a man in control right there, and then gets the pick from Watt or the screen and makes the most of it. Wonder what they're saying in the coach's corner. Raul corner. Here he is. Look at the field goal percentage. Medi Bayreuth 0 of 5. 4 of 9 for Umana Reyer Venezia and the 3 assists. John Cox into the game. Played at the Olympics for Venezuela in Brazil. Also was in that team that won the FIBA Americas championship, the AmeriCup, back in 2015. There he is. He's got the ball. Spent a lot of time playing in France. Bounce pass. Ball knocked away. Revoillet Peric has it. No look pass. What a start for Umana Reyer Venezia. They're making it look easy right now. Oh, nice play, and finally on the board. Amaze puts medi Bayreuth. Took them nearly half a quarter to get their first basket. Peric takes the contact, goes up and scores. Boy, he's tough to handle down low, folks. So that foul on Steve Fahalski, number 14, and Peric makes the most of it. And Umana Reyer Venezia now with their biggest lead at 13 points. It's time to get up and get that machine rolling for medi Bayreuth, or they're going to find themselves on the plane back to Germany, or the train, before they know it. So the foul, another one on Peric, and Gediminas Orlik comes into the game as his replacement. But you like how Peric kind of set the tone, offensively especially. And the drive and the denial. Robinson unsuccessful, and Orlick comes down and buries a 3. Oh, nightmare scoreline at the start for medi Bayreuth, and Umana Reyer Venezia fans just sitting back, eating some popcorn and enjoying what they're seeing. 8 fast break points for Umana Reyer Venezia. Also, foul called on that made shot, so that gives medi Bayreuth another opportunity. A Mays coming, bringing a spark from the bench. I think it's fair to say that if he keeps doing that, it could be an amazing night. I'm sure that's been used in a headline before. And good trap there from Cox and Wachalski. Cox gets it over to Orlick. Now the drive and the foul. So Watt gets a trip to the line. Good bounce pass from Orlick. Tough call perhaps on Seyfried. Those things will even out over the course of the game. He'll know that. So Watt takes advantage, makes the first one. Watt takes it up to 20-5 for Umana Reyer Venezia. He's perfect from the floor and the line now. Robinson dribbling around up top. And a Mays goes in again. So he's got all 7 points for medi Bayreuth. And Watt catches it, drives in, misses, and follows up his own shot and draws the foul. Wachalski, I believe, has picked up his second. Could have called the foul there on a Mays. No, I think it's on a Mays. So Watt goes to the line. Fast start for him. 8 points already. 9. So Mays picks up the foul. Here he is again, looking to get the penetration. Hands it off to Cox. And they left Cox, but then he doesn't knock it in. Nevertheless, bats it out. Wachalski chases down the rebound. Now Seyfried goes to work. And good finish from Seyfried. So Seyfried got the last basket, 23-9. Marquez Haynes goes to the bench, and Dominic Johnson. And if they've done their scouting report, they'll know that Johnson's pretty tough. Got to guard him all over. On the perimeter, Andreas Di Nicolau also in the game for Umana Reyer Venezia. There's John Cox dumping it down low to Seyfried, and goes up and scores with the left hand. Watt for three. Now, where does that come in the flow of the offense? He was open, but I'm not sure Coach De Rafael would be too happy with that. And meanwhile, Amaze is having amazing game. So Umana Reyer Venezia, Walter De Rafael doesn't want to mess around. He wants to call a timeout and talk about this. How is Amaze? Look at this. He's talking about that shot, that early shot. I told you it didn't come in the flow. So Amaze really hasn't, I mean, he's he's been quiet all season long. They're the assists and the turnovers. So Amaze has played 5 games, averaged 8.8 minutes and 1 point. So he's come out and scored. He's led his team tonight. See the free throw and the field goal percentages for both teams. Yeah, Mace has 9 points. You just never know where you might get a spark. Sometimes you just have to search, you know, and from one day to the next or one game to the next, a player, you just don't know. How did he feel when he got out of bed today? Did he have the bit between the teeth? Was he ready to come out and take on this Umana Reyer Venezia team? Well, it certainly looks like it. So lane violation, Umana Reyer Venezia getting into the lane too quickly. Oh, Mays wasn't amazing there. He misses the free throw when there was no lane violation. Pump fake from Orlik. Di Nicolau open, feet set. And then the ball goes out of bounds. Amaze gets it to Seyfried. And then Cox has the ball knocked away, gets it back. And beautiful shot from Robinson. So James Robinson, 23 years of age. Orlik. Fahalski. And Robinson drives in. And a foul called on Umana Reyer Venezia. So medi Bayreuth creeping their way back into this one. Paul Beliga, Mr. Energy's come into the game for Umana Reyer Venezia. You see Bruno Cirella back there as well, number 30. So De Rafael will not hesitate to go to everybody on his bench. Robinson makes it again, and now it's a 6-point game. Always looks worse than it is, perhaps. You know, you trail by double digits, a slow start. You just don't want to panic. You just got to keep playing. Coach just has to tinker a little bit with the lineup, and look at this now. This medi Bayreuth team just down by 6 points. Maybe turn up the pressure a little bit, full court. And this time they break it, but Cirella doesn't rush, passes it back out. And Johnson loses it. Good defense by medi Bayreuth. Out on the perimeter by Robinson. Robinson spins, gets it back. Long jumper, off target. Johnson gets down the lane. Foul called before the shot. Umana Reyer goes back out of the game, and Marquez Haynes comes back in for Umana Reyer Venezia. Cox was called for his first foul. Now, almost another turnover, and Johnson saves it before it goes over and back. Cox gets it, puts it up, and that's how it finishes. So medi Bayreuth not giving an inch over the last minute and a half or so, and they trailed 23-17 at Umana Reyer Venezia. Shooting numbers, not too bad really for either team, except from three-point range for medi Bayreuth is nothing to write home about. Both teams getting to the line 4 times.
In offense, we need to set the screen. Don't sleeping. I want that they switch on top picker.
Hey, rest on defense, pressure the ball and get up on the guy.
Well, you heard it from the coach, Coach Corner, the coach's corner. Pressure him on D. Make him feel uncomfortable. It's not rocket science. Get out there and be disruptive. Make them work when they've got the ball. Umana Reyer coming into this game 4 wins in their first 5 games. medi Bayreuth, who opened the season with 3 straight wins in the Basketball Champions League Group C, have lost 2 in a row. There's Brooks. Goes to work against Bramos, and has some success. Di Nicolau at the start of the second quarter. Beliga puts it up. Now medi Bayreuth, and Amaze goes all the way in. Continues to cause problems for Venezia. He's got 11 points. Follow that storyline. I think he's officially the X factor of this game, having brought his team back to within 2. Di Nicolau passes. Converts it to points. Orlik. He signals it was the 3. And it goes back to 5 points, the advantage. Spin, move, Brooks, And Linhart knocks it back out on the perimeter for the offensive rebound. There's Brooks, and the block is called on Bramos.
Il primo fallo di Michael Bramos.
You can see Bramos having a word with Kroger's Latvian referee saying, did not have my feet set. Robinson gets in a little bit too far, and nevertheless, the ball will remain at this end of the floor with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Perhaps fortuitous. Deep shot, and not able to take advantage. Nice pass from Di Nicolau to Orlik. Back to a 7-point game. And the battle for the ball goes out of bounds off Linhart. Cray says, don't worry, we'll be all right. Yep, quite clearly off the right leg. That corner working the refs a little bit, hoping to get perhaps a favorable call. Here's Johnson. Orlik rebounds. Backs up Robinson, passes it back. Now Bramos, he can shoot it as well. They're determined to get it inside. Beliga misses, gets the ball back. Goes up again, draws the foul. So Beliga at the line, trying to stretch that advantage again. Remember Beliga this summer, he played for Italy and Ettore Messina at the FIBA Eurobasket in Israel. And also in Turkey. Italy getting to the quarterfinals before losing to Serbia, eventual finalists. Makes one of two. Robinson finds his way into the lane. And Beliga's the good sport, helps him up. So Robinson is coming to the line. Di Nicolau takes the seat. Robinson misses the first. James Robinson played, still young, played his college basketball at Pittsburgh from 2012 to 2016. He was with Igokea last season. So this is his second professional season. There's Orlik, catches it down low. Gets it to Beliga, who uses the hops, kind of hangs in the air, and earns another trip to the free throw line. I think you could have taken a couple of fouls there, whichever. Get it to McCray. He goes to the bench. Baliga takes his time and makes the first. And the second. Bastian Dorit hands it off. York gets in, gets rejected from Baliga. He's looking rather beleaguered now. And the shot clock violation. Well, you like the aggressive play going to the rim, but you know what? Baliga turned into the rim protector. Watch this. No. Don't bring it in here. Again? No. I'm going to pin that. I don't know if they're talking about the shot clock. So it'll be medi Bayreuth ball. That's what it was. Yeah, I'm not understanding that myself. Anyway. Brooks backs outside to Lenhart, and he hits the three. This medi Bayreuth team will keep coming after you. You're not going to go away. Orlick drives in, blocked by Brooks, but the ball goes out of bounds. It'll still be Umana Reyer ball. Now Johnson, Lenhart crosses midcourt. And good D again from Baliga. This time playing deny defense out on the perimeter. So Johnson comes out, Jenkins replaces him. So quiet start for Johnson. Entry pass and Gabe York. Oh, he still can't make it. Seifert. He passed it around. Lenhart again. Good. Right at the shot clock buzzer. Well, that's the reputation he's got. From deep, he's hit a couple of threes here recently. Now Orlick. And Seifert with the rebound. Lenhart could tie it with another three. But medi Bayreuth, well, have they turned it over or not? Well, corner didn't agree with that one. Venezia with the 10 assists. Bayreuth, medi Bayreuth with the 6. Still haven't seen Perich come back into the game since he picked up the 2 fouls. There's Bramos, three-pointer. And Bastian Dorit drives in, misses. Jenkins, open floor, decides to bring it back out. And a foul has been called. Well, that's a tough call, you would think. on the defense there. Look at this. Well, they kind of could have called the foul, the first one, I think, on Brooks. That one. Baliga is just all about doing whatever he needs to do to help his team win. Ball goes out of bounds. Still be the ball down here at this end of the floor. Gabe York trying to get to Seyfried, but there's Baliga again. Thomas Rest now coming into the game. So great minutes for Baliga. Bastian Dorit. And Jenkins with the board. Some full court pressure. They got to hurry. They're not going to get it. They do not get it over in time. Great tenacity there, recognizing the situation by the visitors. Good job from Bastian Dorit. Still with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. It's Umana Reyer with the lead. Inside. And Seyfried can't hold on to it, so it goes back to Umana Reyer. Parrots on the deck. Tries to pass it back outside. Now Rest fouled by Seyfried. Look at Rest wanting the unsportsmanlike to be called, saying he wasn't even playing the ball. And I'll tell you what, he had thought he had a strong case for that. We've seen the unsportsmanlike call for much less. Seyfried goes out of the game, takes a seat perhaps for the rest of the half. And good reach from Gabe York to get the steal. Brooks turns, boy, misses where he's got to make it. Two and a half minutes to go now. Haynes calling the play. Jenkins back outside to Rest. And he's fouled while shooting the jumper by Brooks. I mean, yes, Rest can hit the jump shot, but do you really need to play him like that? I mean, he hasn't hit a shot yet. He's just come in. Anyway. Trilla back into the game. Lenhart goes out. Mays is back in. Mays has been the best player, really. Most effective. He's been able to finish at the rim. Thomas Rest misses the first. Second one is good. Medi Bayreuth trailing by 8, trying to make some inroads here before the half. Brooks just not finishing well at the rim so far in the first half. Haynes goes between the legs, over to Parrish, wide open. But it's not open sesame, but then Gabe York competes with his teammate for the rebound, and it goes out for Umana Reyer Venezia. DiNicolau back in. Gives it to Jenkins. Gabe York almost steals it from Jenkins. Long rebound goes out to Parrish. Oh, the pass to Torelli, lays it up and in. medi Bayreuth kind of caught unawares. So they are going to call timeout. But right now, Umana Reyer Venezia, they've got a little lead. medi Bayreuth cut into it, but now they've gone back out in front. See the fast break points and the second chance points. Boy, that is not good viewing for medi Bayreuth. Anytime a team is fast breaking you like that. medi Bayreuth getting 16 points in the paint. That was Torelli with that follow. A wide open layup. So 10 points is the lead. And the biggest lead of the game is even bigger than that. Let's see. It's 16 points. That's right. They got up 18-2 early on. Seyfried goes up, gets a high percentage shot. That's what you like to see coming out of a timeout if you're Coach Corner. Back to an 8-point deficit. Haynes pulls up. I think Amaze may have picked up his second foul, trying to box out. So free throws coming for Umana Reyer Venezia. So they, you know, again, Walter De Rafael will use all of his players. I think he's used 11 of the 12 tonight. That was Amaze's second foul. He doesn't want to pick up his third here, that's for sure. Gabe York, that, you know, he's the player they have to get going. And he just isn't able to find his range tonight for whatever reason. Dordt goes to his left. Fahalski and tries to make the pass, but Haynes was alert. Passes up to Orlik. Then he misses. And Amaze can't grab the rebound. Well, the Italians want to get be on the same page here for this last possession. So they will draw up a play. Wonder if we might see the reinsertion of Dominique. Yes, we will. Dominique Johnson. So 24-17 in favor of the Umana Reyer Venezia for the rebounds as well. So lots of areas where medi Bayreuth can get better, which I'm sure their coach will remind them at halftime. So turnovers for both teams as well. Well, look at crashing the boards. So important. You go to the basket. You trail. You know, you see your guy on the fast break. You go down because he might miss it. Johnson in the game. Will he be a decoy or will he get the last shot? I think it'll be. Well, Johnson, Haynes certainly can take the last. No, it's going to be Orlick. No, it's Johnson. No, he gets it to Orlick. Good unselfish play. Terrific. And you saw the high five exchanged over there on the bench with De Rafael and Johnson. So timeout was worth it. Orlick makes the first. Still 2.8 seconds left, though. Oh, only makes one of two. Dorth gets it. He's got to launch it, but it was short. So all in all, a good first half for Umana Reyer Venezia, and medi Bayreuth just can't quite get it going on all cylinders here. But they've still got 20 minutes to go. 41-30, Umana Reyer Venezia on top. So Umana Reyer are getting to the free throw line often. Look at that. Much more so than medi Bayreuth. They're out rebounding them, out assisting them. Got another steal. And Watt with 9 points for Umana Reyer Venezia. Amaze has 13 for medi Bayreuth. You know, he didn't come in scoring a bunch of points, but in the Basketball Champions League, but he has tonight. So 20 more minutes to go. We'll be right back for the second half.
Cantieri Vetrali, cucina tipica veneziana nei cuori della laguna. Ristorante ai Vetrali e a Murano in Fondamenta Manini 29. Mauro Francesco Trasporti, da oltre 10 anni specializzati nei trasporti temporali di ogni tipo, anche con refrigerazione. Per informazioni 348 04 55 217. JPP, informatiche web per il business. JPP opera in 4 settori: assistenza sistemistica, centralini telefonici evoluti, noleggio fermati multifunzione, siti web. Per informazioni visita il sito www.jpgnet.com oppure contattaci allo 041.
(41:30). Umana Reyer Venezia on top of medi Bayreuth. It's it's been kind of a start and stop game at times. Medi Bayreuth just haven't been able to get in sync, get in their rhythm. Certainly they need Gabe York to step up. Maybe Coach Corner is going to sort something out there to get his leading scorer going, because right now they need him. I mean, when you figure he comes in, he's capable of coming out and having a 20-point half. There's no question about that. But right now, Gabe York has the big 0 next to his name. He's got no points, 0 of 4 from the floor, and he even missed what looked like a very makeable layup. That said, Umana Reyer Venezia know that he's their big danger man. These medi Bayreuth fans haven't come here to watch their team go quietly, so they'll be expecting them to come out all guns blazing here in the second half. But I think one of the advantages that Walter de Rafael has is not only do they have the experience of having made it to the Final Four last season and having done so by winning some tough games, they've got players still in from that team in this team, and they have a deep bench. I mean, they go very deep. He goes very deep to his bench, and he's really got some scrappers. I mean, none more so than Paul Biliga. He gets after you on the boards. It's no wonder that he was included in that Italian national team this summer at the Eurobasket, and I'd be awfully surprised if Romeo Sacchetti did not have him in his team for the World Cup qualifiers coming up very soon against Romania in Turin and then at Croatia. John Cox, pretty quiet so far as well. Another player that could step up. He's got 0 points. He's played just about 6 minutes. So remember, you talk about two very important players for medi Bayreuth. And then you've also got Brooks, who's really struggled around the basket, just 1 of 6 from the floor. So second half action underway. And it's going to be possession over to medi Bayreuth. So what might they have done to turn things around? Well, they've got to play with fire. They've got to play with the intensity. Number one, medi Bayreuth. And we saw them cut that large deficit in the first half, so they know they can get back into it, but they can't turn the ball over. That was a maze. Now here's Robinson puts up a long one, and not a good offensive set that time. Watt, ooh, that did not look good. So here's Robinson again. Cox. Mays goes between the legs. He has been terrific tonight. Misses that. And Cox can't quite chase it down. Of course, everybody knows Cox for being a great player. See the shooting percentages from three-point range for both teams. Not very good. But they also know that everybody knows that John Cox is the cousin of Kobe Bryant. Kobe was extremely proud of John Cox playing at the Olympics back in last year in Brazil for Venezuela. Good defense from Brooks. And look at Amaze push it quickly. Oh, may have gotten away with a push, a forearm, but he goes hard to the basket. That's your player of the game right there so far for medi Bayreuth. He's bringing it. Look at him. Garden D'ing up on Dominic Johnson. And now he's got 3 fouls. And got to control it. You want to stay on the court. You can't be picking up cheap ones like that. Haynes gets inside, puts up the jumper. Good. Marquez, he capitalizes the Q in his name, interestingly. M-A-R capital Q, U-E-Z. Or if you're in the British Isles, Z. Now, the turnover. Dominic Johnson on the break. Puts it up and in. Well, fast break points, boy, those are tough ones to give away if you're chasing the game, as medi Bayreuth are. There's Amaze again. Oh, just puts his head down and gets inside. He says, we may go down, but we're going to go down fighting. A long way to go. 11 points. They can make that up in no time. Ramos in the corner. Beautiful pass. Watt to Hervoye Peric, and basket interference, so Peric gets the basket. Amaze again, and this time draws the foul. How in the world? It seems like he's the only player in the flow. I mean, he is just taking it to the rack. He's feeling it tonight, folks. And misses the free throw. It's no good getting to the line and then missing the free throws. Amaze now 1 of 3 at the line. He's 8 of 10 from the floor. Makes the second one. It's a wonderful arena where Venezia play. The Venezia Mestre. Palasport Talietio. And Bramos drives in, is denied. He was sandwiched. Here's Amaze again. Oh, look at that move, but then doesn't finish. Good hustle from Seyfried, though, to get it back. Now somebody else has to take a shot. Brooks goes in and draws the foul. He will go to the line for 2. It looked like a pretty good block from Bramos. Look at this. He's got some hops. Look at this. So Bramos picks up the foul. Interesting to see if he's in that Greece team that plays in the World Cup qualifiers. Bramos was a regular for a while there for Greece. Didn't play last summer. So the free throws get it back to a 10-point game. Something about getting it to the 10-point game. Look at the hustle from Robinson, almost getting the steal. And they do get it over just in time. Now Johnson takes it all the way and misses. And you get the feeling medi Bayreuth want to speed it up. And there's Brooks, goes up with the left hand. Now it's back to 8, and might De Rafael call timeout. Well, I bet you if medi Bayreuth get another basket to cut it back to 6 or 5, you'll get a timeout. Of course, Umana Reyer might get a basket at this end. Ramos decides to take the shot. Ball bounces over the backboard. Cirella's going to come in. A lot of good players over there on the bench right now for De Rafael. And that is a killer turnover for medi Bayreuth. You're making a run, you're getting back into it, and you turn it over. And the drive, again, another opportunity. Robinson in the open floor, gets it to Cox and decides to pull it back out. Seyfried spins, Cox in the corner, good! And there you have it. Just as we anticipated, they get it to 6 or 5, and De Rafael has to call the timeout. Stop the bleeding here. And medi Bayreuth showing what they're made of. They talk about it all the time, don't they? You're down. What are you going to do in that first 5 minutes of the second half? And all this medi Bayreuth team done is chop away.
One pass here, safety pass and middle man. Watch out.
We gotta be aggressive. We gotta be physical. It's very simple. It's very simple. You can't run anymore. If you can't crawl anymore, let me know next guy goes in. But you gotta have warrior mentality right now. Let's go. Yeah, we got.
You love that team talk there, didn't you? You heard Coach Corner. We got to be physical. You got to have a warrior mentality. If you can't go, if you can't give me that, let me know so I can get somebody else in there who can. So that is the mentality he wants his players to have. And of course, they have to play with control, but they got to play hard. And Cox getting the hands up on Di Nicolau. Di Nicolao's almost going to turn it over. Gets it over to Cirella for 3. And Brooks not able to get the rebound. Oh, that's costly. See if Umana Reyer score here. Yes, they do. The alley-oop pass to Watt. And you give away those second opportunities, and they always, almost always, in fact, come home to roost. See if that picks up Umana Reyer Venezia. Could be a game changer. Seyfried. Nice play, nice high percentage shot. Robinson Ding up on Di Nicolau. 6 points, 6 rebounds for Seyfried. Dominic Johnson from the corner. Takes it back to 8 points. Robinson fouled by Di Nicolau. That's the 3rd team foul on Venezia in the quarter. Little crossover action there. Who's crossing them up? Probably, oh, look at that. The alley-oop pass. Thank you very much. Di Nicolau, he says. But now Di Nicolau has 2 fouls. Bastian Doret. Oh. Well, corner's not going to jump down his players' throats when they're trying to execute the offense, but nevertheless, costly turnover. when you're chasing the game. Three and a half minutes to go in the third quarter. Johnson again. And the ball goes off Torella. But De Rafael does have a lot of good players sitting on the bench right now. Bukowski back in the game for Seyfried. Bukowski, hey, where'd that come from? The three from the big fella. So Bukowski comes right off the bench and drills one. And Orlik is in the game, in fact, as is Baliga. Jenkins also coming in. Cox takes a seat. So back to a 5-point deficit. Can they keep the pressure on? Can Umana Reyer? I tell you what, whenever I see Baliga on the court for Umana Reyer Venezia, as well as Orlik, as well as Jenkins, I think, you know what? They're going to be okay, but we'll see. Here's Baliga, because Baliga is just such a scrapper. There Nicolau goes in and gets fouled by Brooks. And in my opinion, I know you want to play D, but Amaze did not do well defensively there. Because Di Nicolau has not proven to you tonight that he's going to hit that jump shot. So why do you run at him and let him go past you? Anyway, he ends up at the line and now has the opportunity to push the lead back up. And he does. But just makes one of two. However, look who sneaks in there and gets the rebound. Torella. And a couple of times in this quarter, offensive rebounds have been hugely important for this Umana Reyer Venezia team. Nicolau tries to make the pass to Baliga, but turns it over. Dorit, Amaze. Oh, he goes in. Misses the shot. I think it was Johnson, or Baliga rather, that challenged him. Here he is again. Look at that. Oh, beautiful block. Great effort by Baliga. And it goes, Seyfried puts it up. There you go. Now it's a 4-point game. Slowly but surely, medi Bayreuth coming back. Orlik on the wing, puts it up. Misses badly. Lenhart with the rebound. Goes behind his back. He's going to to Amaze. Oh, Lenhart. Make the bounce pass. You can hear the Umana Reyer Venezia fans singing behind the basket there, which is where Jenkins will be shooting. 1.5 minutes to go in the third. Free throw game has been, shall we say, crucial tonight. Umana Reyer Venezia shooting over 70% at the line tonight, getting there often. And misses that. So now 14 of 19. And medi Bayreuth, not nearly as many attempts. 7 of 10. Oh, quick hands from Jenkins, almost coming up with another steal. 7 on the shot clock. Shot clock down to 3. Doret puts it up. You feel like right now is when medi Bayreuth have to make their move. They've gotten close. Is this where Umana Reyer Venezia are going to open it back up? Well, they might just with Jenkins. He's playing well since he's been coming. He's played well since he's come back into the game. Back to a 7-point game. Seifert, they get the mismatch down low. Who have they called the foul on? Jenkins raising his hand to say, I did it. So they reset the shot clock to 14. Now they're trying to post up again, but I don't see that. Oh, he does. He gets it. And then he swing it wide open. This time off target, but Doret gets the offensive rebound. Mays again. Oh, did that not go off the glass? I guess not. Baliga, another great block, but this time they get it back anyway and score. Whoa, that was close. Well, you know what, folks? You got to tip your hat to medi Bayreuth. They've been scrappy. They've had a few turnovers, giving away a couple of rebounds at the Umana end, but they're fighting. They've come back and they trail by 5 with 10 minutes remaining. So the shooting percentage, again, the free throws, twice as many attempts for Venezia. 14 of 20. Bayreuth are 7 of 10. And that's pretty much the game. But that's being aggressive, attacking the basket. Amaze has been amazing. He's got 18 points tonight. Here he is. He has a game-high 18 points. And really, you know, with Amaze, I mean, had he not really taken it upon himself to really be the kind of the battering ram, so to speak, you know, to really be aggressive and go to the basket, this game would be over. So he's done what he could do to keep medi Bayreuth in the game, but the team has to raise its level here in this fourth quarter. Can't just be a one man. It's got to be everybody. And as you heard the coach saying, we got to be intense. We got to be warriors out there. If you can't do that, let me know. We'll get somebody in there who can. Here's a Mays again. Might be better attacking the basket rather than settling for turnaround jump shots. Got to pass it if it's not there. Baliga, how about that? Well, just the more I watch him, the more I like him. Both teams right in the 40s, the low 40s. Gets it back. 5 points. Now can they get a stop? Orlick gets it before it goes out of bounds. Jenkins. 7 points. You saw for Hosky. So now he's got 4 fouls. Alley-oop pass! How about that from Mr. Baliga? They love him. Quick response team. Seifert. So Seifert makes that, goes to 10 points. He's 5 of 7. And again, this time he was challenged. Mays was there to help knock the ball away. Mays, shirt untucked. Gets in, spins, passes it back outside. Hosky, nope. Jenkins dribbling around. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Baliga again. He gets it to go. 10 points for him. Amazing he only has 2 rebounds. Seems like he's been far more active. But then again, he's played 15 minutes. He's been very disruptive, though. 3 of 5 from the floor for him. Oh, nice runner from Linhart. Umana Reyer Venezia going inside here in this 4th quarter. Will they continue to do so? Bounce pass. Yes, they do. They are getting what they want with Baliga. And Walter De Rafael says, where's the unsportsmanlike? Look at this. And he might have a point because there wasn't really a play on the ball there. Johnson back into the game. DeNicolau takes a seat. DeNicolau's brought good energy tonight. Jenkins also out. Orlick in. He makes both. Baliga. So back up to a 7. You know, it's been 7, 5, 4, 7. It's medi Bayreuth struggling to get even closer. But it can happen. Linhart. It looked like a Euro step. Here he is again. Little runner. And Seifert couldn't get the rebound. Orlick bowling his way down low. Passes it back out. Haynes for three. And Bastian Dore comes down with a rebound. 6 minutes to go. Amaze going to attempt from three again. I'm not sure that's his strength. And this is where they really miss Gabe York tonight. Giving him that impetus from deep. You know, when you look back at the season that he's had coming into tonight, and you got Robinson. Cox, Seifert, can't control it. Now Haynes. Watt goes up, can't finish. Now Amaze. Oh, Amaze. Now that's where he's good. He will find a way to get to the basket. And if I were him, that's what I would do. That's the way I'm going to score. I'm not going to settle for jump shots. Otherwise, I pass it. With York having not scored tonight, you're missing a player who's had 20 points, 19 points, 25 points, 21, and 13. And here's Amaze. Look at this. And he throws it down, and there you go. The player of the game for medi Bayreuth, Amaze, has cut that deficit to 3 points. And you got to tip your hat to the man. $20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 of 10 to 16 from the floor, 22 points, excuse me. Efficiency rating of 19. Look at the bench and also the points in the paint. And a lot of that from medi Bayreuth. medi Bayreuth is Amaze. Oh, there's Amaze again. So certainly the X factor in this game, and they should throw this man a parade if they win this game back home, because he's been that good. He really has. Johnson misses. Hervoye Perich. Watt. With his offensive rebounds, this time it doesn't come back to bite him. Field goal percentages for both teams, 45% now for medi Bayreuth. John Cox back in. Here he is. Amaze. And that's not his game, in my opinion. But I've already stated that several times. I'd rather see him just go every time to the basket. Haynes. Ball goes out of bounds. Off of Haynes. It's not been a good night for Mr. Haynes tonight. Look at that, 5 points. He's got more turnovers than assists. Well, and right on cue, he must have heard me, because he's out there about ready to come up with a big steal. And nice sportsmanship there from Dore. Love seeing that. Now Mays calls the play. You got Cox in one corner, Robinson in the other. And Amaze finds his way in again. This time, Watt was ready, and he blocked him. So much for that. Umana Reyer content to take some time off the clock, it appears. Johnson over to Haynes, back to Johnson, steps into it. Oh, that was big. The big block by Watt at one end of the court. And then they take a lot of time off the clock. And they get to three from Johnson. Linhart drives in again. Watt with a key block, but then Seifert there for the follow. So Mays comes out. He's given everything tonight. Will he get back in? Well, who knows? Back to a 4-point game. Seifert has 12 points now. Haynes, well short, air ball. Yep, not his best game tonight. 1 of 5 from three-point range. 2.5 minutes remaining. Linhart, entry to Seifert. And he gets it to a 2-point game. Do we have a timeout coming from Coach De Rafael? Boy, we really thought that that block by Watt and then the three-pointer by Johnson might have just been the trigger, or might have just spurred this Umana Reyer team on to the big win. But medi Bayreuth, they are simply not going away. And now blocked from behind and by Linhart. And believe it or not, folks, they can tie it or take the lead with a 3. Umana Reyer Venezia love those close games. Remember that triple overtime game at the beginning of the season against Banvit? Robinson off the back of the iron. Bounce pass Watt over to Hervoye Peric. Air ball. So another opportunity for medi Bayreuth. Linhart with a runner. Can't get that one to go. And again, the second chance to tie. And they can't get it to fall. Johnson from the left. He misses. Can somebody make a shot? Now Robinson. Again, they can tie it or take the lead. The third consecutive time. Robinson drives in, misses, but oh, the follow wasn't there from Seifert. 3 consecutive times. And really, Umana Reyer Venezia dodged bullets. Johnson open. Oh, front and back of the rim, pops out. You're on the road. Do you go for the win or do you go for the tie? They can hold it. I'm going for the win. I'm trying to 3. They're going to foul Venezia. They've got fouls to give, and this is something now that works to their advantage. They can commit 2 more fouls against medi Bayreuth. So medi Bayreuth called timeout, and Umana Reyer Venezia must be thinking, how did we end up with this? I mean, after all, in this game, we've been leading from start to finish. Look at that, 3-point shooting, field goal percentage. You know, their biggest lead was 16 points in the first half. And they just haven't been able to put this medi Bayreuth team away. They've had some shots they've missed. But medi Bayreuth as well. I mean, they've sort of been riding their luck lately. See the fast break points. That's gotten better. medi Bayreuth are really getting good looks inside. You know, a lot of that is a maze. And then Seifert. Look at that, following up the miss. So what do you think? Are we going to go for the tie, or are we going for the win? I bet you they go for the tie, but I would seriously think about putting up a 3. With Linhart, for example, or Cox. 13.1 seconds left. They've got another foul, so they got to be careful that they at least get a shot. Cox gets inside, gets it to fall. 5.8 seconds remaining. Well, you get up on top of a team and you don't step on their throat, basically. And this is what happens. They've come back and they have tied it. medi Bayreuth, remember, they've lost 2 consecutive games trying to get their 4th win of the campaign. Here it is again. Cox, the Olympian, gets in, gets the friendly roll, the bounce. Now they advance the ball. Do you like Hervelio Peric getting his hands on the ball and going hard to the basket? Or Johnson? I would say those would be the 2 primary contenders for this. Wouldn't be something if Haynes hit a shot at the end. Here he is. He's got it. And they had fouls to give as well. Now down to 3.7 seconds. They've got another one. Orlick puts it up. Oh, he hits it. It had to be Orlick, didn't it? It had to be the man who simply cannot stay out of the spotlight when the game is in the clutch. Gediminas Orlick. He has done it so many times. He did it in the triple overtime win earlier. He's done it tonight. He did it last year for Vanvit. Umana Reyer Venezia lived dangerously, but with Gediminas Orlick, they have won. Well, no, wait. Have they got some time still on? They're going to add some time to the clock. Let's see here. Well, we can't see it from that angle. There can't be much time. There might be 0.3. It's going to be awfully difficult now. So what they do in the final 2 minutes, obviously they can review it. At the end of the game, they can look and see how much time. Well, heartbreaking for medi Bayreuth because they finally climbed the mountain and they join Umana Reyer Venezia. They tie it, but then they they allow Umana Reyer Venezia to get the 3-point shot, the 3-pointer from really the, you know, you look back over the years at Gediminas Orlick, and here he's a guy that knows how to, or that is not afraid to take shots like this and make them. I think there's going to be 0.4 seconds. So they can't throw it up to the rim because he hit a 3. So they've got to get a 3-point attempt. But how much are they putting on? I can't see it. They don't seem to have put any time on it, the clock. Is it because the buzzer hasn't sounded? Because if this is the case, I don't think it's possible that they can even get a chance at. Oh, did it go in? Yes, it did. And that was. Now they're going to review that to see if it went in. And I think because they must have ruled because they couldn't see definitively how much time was on the clock. That they just left 0.00 seconds, and then obviously when the buzzer sounded, that was going to be it. But anyway, the main thing is Umana Reyer Venezia have won it, and Gediminas Orlik has once again proved to be the main man, the man that you want to have the ball when the game is on the line. He hits a game-winning 3-pointer. So it looks like it is 70-67. So they're not going to count if in fact that ball did go in there at the end from Brooks. So Umana Reyer Venezia, how do you go back and, you want to celebrate because you've hit a buzzer-beating 3-pointer, but you also know that maybe you didn't do as well as you needed to in that second half. They were outscored 37-29 in the second half. 16-14 in the fourth quarter. They were being outscored in that fourth quarter before Orlik hit the 3-pointer. Look at the love of the Umana Reyer Venezia fans for their players. That's the biggest success. That's the biggest way to have a great club for me, is if the players go out and bond with the fans like that. That is a beautiful sight. 15 of 30 for Venezia inside the arc, 8 of 31 from long range, 16 of 22 at the free throw line, and once again, that was huge. When you consider medi Bayreuth were 7 of 10. And medi Bayreuth ended up out-rebounding them by just 2. Both teams with 11 turnovers. And the leading scorers, Orlik with 12 points. Mays had 22. Seyfried was good as well. Seyfried, excuse me. And Baliga was the hustle, getting all the hustle points, diving, sacrificing his body. 70-67. Seyfried with 14, Linhart with 8. Baliga and Orlik each with 12 points. Watt had 11, and Watt had a couple of big blocks late, but it basically all came down to Orlik hitting the game-winning shot. So these are the standings. Umana Reyer Venezia winning for the 5th time in 6 games. They're in first place ahead of Banvit, who are at 4-2. Movistar Estudiantes and medi Bayreuth now 3-3. And, of course, if Sieg Strasbourg win tomorrow, they will be 4-2 and leapfrog both of them. Anyway, now is probably not the time to get too stressed out about the standings. So that is that. And again, medi Bayreuth will look back at this and think, you know what, we didn't give up. We clawed our way back. Maybe at the end we could have tried to keep the ball out of Orlik's hands, but they've got other players that can hurt you as well. So sometimes you just have to tip your hat to the other team for making the game-winning shot. And anyway, you're never going to decide. A game is not going to be decided literally at the end. I mean, exclusively. When you look back, you'll find numerous areas, numerous opportunities that you could have taken advantage of to get a couple more baskets. And you didn't. And that's why medi Bayreuth will have lost. This guy was amazing tonight. Amazed. He was terrific. Here he is again. And here was Amaze with, shall we call that a dunk? He did get up there. And here he was getting blocked by Watt. That was one big three that Johnson hit. Then Linhart gets inside. You know, medi Bayreuth have fallen to 3-3, but they've still got a pulse. I mean, they're right in there. They were on the road tonight. They lost, but they can come back strong. And really, yeah, maybe the words of their coach needs to really sink into those guys. You got to be warriors out here for me. You got to be warriors in these games if we're going to do anything. And you have to tip your hat for them for coming back. They came back from 16 points down, but they couldn't ultimately get the win because it was this man right here, Gediminas Orlik, with this shot. Bam! Let's have another look at that. Robinson couldn't play much better defense than that. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. 70-67, Umana Reyer Venezia beat medi Bayreuth.